In their heyday, 300 of these magnificent vessels plied the waterways in this region. Find out where I am? Just a moment. On today's show, we'll be dealing with motors and moggies as we try and turn pleasure into business for our two house hunters. And while some properties are slow burners...
It got me thinking, that's for sure. What are you thinking?
I'm warming to it now.
Others fire up our buyers straight away.
I felt as soon as we walked through the gate, it felt right from the outside.
Yeah.
And finally, the cat might get the cream.
This would be my dream country house, something like this.
Today we're in Norfolk. These are the Broads, of course. And back in the 19th and early 20th century, they were teeming with these very distinctive vessels, which are known locally as wherries. They have a forward stepped mast and a single sail, and they were ideal for navigating these tree-lined broadland rivers. And they were also the backbone of the local economy because they brought goods in from the coast to the inland port of Norwich. And later on in the show, I'll be finding out how they're making a comeback at the hands of a very dedicated bunch of volunteers. But first, let's take a look at some of the glories of this area. Bordering Lincolnshire, Cambridgeshire and Suffolk, Norfolk is the largest of the East Anglian counties. Its northern and eastern edges are fringed by over 100 miles of sweeping coast, with a mixture of shingle beaches and wide sandy dunes. Low-lying but still incredibly diverse, the landscape covers wetlands and undulating farmland, peppered by the odd windmill. There's a traditional saying that people from Norfolk have one foot on the land and one in the sea, and moving away from its shores and inland to the heart of the county lies the medieval city of Norwich, which is dominated by its 12th century cathedral. Beyond the reach of its main road links, much of Norfolk remains an untouched, tranquil place, the perfect destination for those seeking a peaceful rural bolt hole. Unless you're planning to live in Burnham Overy or Cley next to the sea in the very fashionable and very expensive North Norfolk coast, then this county can give you real good value for money if you're shopping for property. The average detached house here costs £213,000, and that's 20% less than the national average. And when you think across the border in equally beautiful Suffolk, it's 15% more expensive, then you can see what sort of a bargain you're getting. Plus, you get all of this beautiful countryside and a lot of heritage, including some really gorgeous architectural styles. Norfolk's rich natural resources have been put to good use as building materials throughout the centuries. The county's plentiful supply of clay and long tradition of mining stone is evident from the many red brick and flint properties that make up its villages. The modest-sized cottages, originally built to house fishermen in coastal villages such as Blakeney, are now highly desirable and typically command asking prices upward of £350,000. East Anglia's abundance of reed beds means that thatch has long been used for roofing in Norfolk. The reed is much more durable than straw, with a lengthy lifespan of up to 7 decades. 4-bedroom thatched homes in sought-after countryside locations tend to start at £400,000. So we can safely say that Norfolk is not short of beautiful architectural property, but is it enough to lure in our buyers today? Let's meet them and find out. Kevin is an ex-RAF engineer, married to Belinda, who works as a qualification assessor. And they live with their 2 cats in a 4-bedroom house on the edge of an estate in the market town of Melton Mowbray in Leicestershire. They got together when Belinda answered an ad in her local newspaper.
I'd been listening to this local radio station for some months, and I just used this thing called Midnight Matchmaker it was, and it was a bit cheesy and a bit, I thought, well, I'll have a go, why not? And I didn't realise that my details would get put in a newspaper which was in a different county. And I was quite surprised when Belinda rang me. And then we met up in a pub local to Belinda's house. That was it. Rest is history.
That was it, yeah.
They have been happily married for nearly 9 years, and have recently decided to quit the 9-to-5 routine and pursue their dreams.
At the moment, we're both doing jobs that require us to probably sit behind desks and computers, yet we're practical people, active people, and we're just not getting the life satisfaction that we really want.
Their desire to change their current lifestyles has been driven by their love of travelling around the country at a moment's notice.
We have been on caravan holiday for many years. We love the freedom and the open space which it provides us when we go.
And it's these trips that have helped them focus on the region they'd like to call home.
The area we'd like to move to is South Norfolk, possibly even into North Suffolk. We want to move there because, well, first of all, we think our budget that we have will get more for our money down there. We think we're likely to find the countryside place that we want, with land that we want, with the space to have what we want.
And with all that space, Belinda hopes to turn her love of cats into a viable business venture.
My inspirational drive to have a cattery has been an ambition I've had for a long time. I've always loved cats, and that's where it comes from. I've always had cats for most of my life, and I've now got 2 kittens. They're growing up fast.
Kevin also has plans to make money from a hobby he's had since childhood.
My passion for classic cars started many, many years ago when I was a young boy. And of late, since I've left the Air Force, I've taken the bull by the horns and I've built a kit car. And I enjoy it, and I want to get into it more and make a bit of money out of it.
Their current house is on the market, so they've got a clear idea of how much money they have available for their next move.
Our budget for this move is up to £450,000.
For the best chance of finding exactly what they're looking for and to get the best value for money, we'll be concentrating our property search inland, away from the pricey north coast. Time for us all to meet up in Norfolk to lock down the details of their property wish list. Welcome to Norfolk. Now, are you ready for the remoteness of living in the country?
Yes, we are, definitely. And I think our liking of the rural countryside is reflected in the holidays that we take, because we caravan both in the UK and in France, and we always choose somewhere that's rural. So it's been something we want to do for a long time.
Yeah. So what are you actually looking for in terms of spec for this property? What's the sort of minimum numbers of bedrooms, for example?
The minimum number of bedrooms would be 2. And the most important thing is that we can develop business opportunities that we want to.
So it's thinking ahead about the business that's most important.
Absolutely.
And you need space for a cattery. And how many acres do you need to do that, really?
We've sort of looked minimum probably of half an acre, haven't we? I think that's what we've come to decide on.
Okay. I know you've got classic cars to look after, but I mean, are there any other money-making ventures apart from the cattery that you were thinking of?
Indeed. We'd like an opportunity for holiday let, whether it be an annex to the building or a separate outbuilding we could convert. A real dream would be a fishing lake as well that we could charge people to come to see.
Steady. You've got the cattery and the holiday lets already. Would you then put money in to develop a place if we found you the right space?
Absolutely. It's a long-term vision. It doesn't have to be all there in front of us now, today. We've just got to be able to see it and get some ideas about how we could develop it for our future.
Well, let's go and see it, because we've got 3 lined up for you, and Norfolk is awaiting. Come with me. For a maximum budget of £450,000, Kevin and Belinda have set their hearts on a new enterprise in the Norfolk countryside, and are after a house with a minimum of 2 bedrooms, in at least a half-acre plot that has scope for Belinda to run a cattery business, as well as an outbuilding or annex which could serve as a holiday let. And lastly, Kevin needs space to indulge his passion for restoring classic cars. I have to admit that sounds like a tall order. However, we love a challenge, and over the next couple of days, I'll be showing them 3 great homes, each with very different selling points. Of course, the property price tags will remain a guessing game until the end of each tour. Finally, there's our mystery property, which will challenge them to reconsider what their country dream really is. So, with a new business venture in mind, we're starting our house hunt in Mundham Common. The tiny village of Seething is the nearest place to pick up essentials, served by a convenient store and post office, as well as a flint church with an unusual round Norman tower. But back in the rural outskirts of Mundham Common is where our first property lies. So up a long private drive to house number 1. This is the property I want to show you.
All right. Has it been more than one house at some point?
It has history. The oldest part of the house is this white bit at the end, which has been re-rendered. That's from the 1780s.
Is it?
This is a Victorian extension put in the
Right.
1800s.
Yeah.
And then this was put in on the 80s.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. I'll give it that. Yeah, it wasn't what I expected.
And is
but
it
these things
currently
never
being
are.
used as one house? That's what
It
I'm
is.
wondering.
Right.
All one house.
Right, OK.
It'll be clearer when we go inside.
OK.
This property's mix of historical styles has our buyers a bit bemused. So let's see how the character unfolds inside. So come on through, straight into, well, the sitting room.
It's a lovely fireplace.
Wow.
Great big
Cosy, isn't it?
fireplace.
And it's got some beams.
This is the Victorian extension to the original cottage. So this would have been the main living area because it was all based around this fire. But in terms of the living space, you haven't really talked so much about how you want the space for, you know, your living and kitchen. How do you use your space?
Lounge area, which this is big enough for us.
And we like a good dining sort of kitchen area, you know, sort of social area. Really. Because it's a kitchen and dining area.
Well, this house has both. Because you've got a dining room in the extension there
Right.
and a kitchen area. Come on in.
Oh, I like this.
You like it?
Yes,
Yeah,
I do. Now this is more like what I would imagined.
Yeah?
A
So this
kitchen,
is
you
the
know,
really old
like-
part, is it? The original part?
Yeah, this is the 18th century part.
Yeah.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it?
It
So you've
is.
got the beams, you've got the lovely quarry tiles.
They've kept the beams, which is nice.
I'm very interested in what's out there, so I think that what's out there might make my mind up more, but I do love this part.
Yeah.
So, Belinda, I think you're right. I think it's what's outside is going to sway you. But before we go outside, let's have a peek upstairs.
OK.
Back off the sitting room is the large dining room I mentioned earlier, with double doors out into the garden. And just off the entrance hall is a handy utility room, which lies next to the staircase up to the first floor. So this is the master, again over the oldest part of the house, the creaky floorboards,
Yeah.
the 18th century
yeah.
part.
Yes, that's definitely got character.
Yeah, I love that ceiling. Nice.
So this is the biggest room. There are 2 bedrooms which are over the new extension, and then another little box room and family bathroom at the end.
OK, OK.
But interestingly, there is this. You ready?
Yeah, go on then.
Ta-da!
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Not been developed yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
What could
Okay.
you do with that? Gosh.
That completes the house tour, but there's much more outside to get their cogs whirring, starting with a modern open barn. It was built by the present owners, so it's got 3 big areas at the bottom, ideal for cars. And upstairs there's this mammoth space of storage. So a huge amount of potential there for either turning it into a workshop or doing something else with it.
OK.
Is this going to be enough for your classic cars?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. More than enough, actually.
This is only the half of it.
Oh.
So come on in. This is all yours.
Oh, wow.
2.35 acres.
Wow.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. These buildings also belong to you, so we were thinking, can you turn that into a cattery? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Interesting.
And most excitingly, follow me, this
that as well.
is yours too. So, exhausted walking around your potential estate. This is a fully functional holiday let.
Is it really?
2 bedrooms upstairs. You need to spend a bit of money to bring it up to scratch,
Yeah,
but then you could start earning money fairly swiftly.
OK.
That's a real surprise. I wasn't expecting that.
Got me thinking, that's for sure. What are you thinking?
I'm warming to it now.
So, plucking a figure out of the air, how much do you think it's worth?
350,000, because it needs a lot of work doing, although I know it's got a lot of land with it.
I would go 410.
Yeah, you're very optimistic with 350. So it's actually on the market for 459.
459. OK.
Well, I'm
for
going
anything
to
else,
send you in there.
really.
You can have a look in there. and then you can have a look around everything. It's going to take you a while.
Okay.
And then we'll meet at the front, and then we'll take it from there.
All right.
In you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nudging just above their budget at £459,000, our first property gives them a detached character home with the business potential they asked for. It sits in just over 2 acres of grounds that include a 2-bedroom cottage, which could be their holiday let, a barn, which could house Kevin's classic cars, and other outbuildings that Belinda could turn into a cattery.
Inside, I mean, I love the kitchen area. I love the old beams, and I love that. I think there's good character in the lounge as well. And I think the downstairs living area gives a lot of space, and I think that's got a lot of potential. I don't think there needs to be too much work done there to improve that. The setting is perfect. It's not too rural, and it's just right. It feels just right.
My initial thoughts when we first walked up the drive and saw the house to our right was it was a bit of a mismatch, which it was, we found out, because it was 3 different ages. And then, of course, you've got the outbuildings of the barn, barn cum garage, which needs a bit of work doing to it. Great space upstairs. It's just the time it would take and the money on top of what the asking price is to pour into that, I think would be maybe a little bit too much asking of us, I think.
Here you are. All done? Seen everything?
Yes, thank you.
Your inspiration going?
Yes. Lots of inspiration.
Thoughts?
Yes.
Thoughts are very cagey.
Early days.
Very cagey. I like your style. OK, well, we're going to leave this one behind now and go and look at house number 2.
Excellent.
Whilst it would be fantastic if we could offer Kevin and Belinda the fishing lake they desire within their budget, the next best option is to take them to experience the end product, fish. And with Norfolk's extensive heritage coastline, it's no surprise that for generations fishing has been an economic mainstay of this county. Glenn Weston is a second-generation fisherman who has now turned his hand to running a smokehouse in the village of Clyde next the sea. So during the week, we sent our buyers to meet him and learn more about this traditional method of fish preparation and preservation.
I've got some salmon here ready to brine up.
Fantastic.
Now, all we do generally is just lay these out nice and flat.
To start with, the freshly caught fish is cleaned and filleted and then covered with salt for around 12 hours, which helps the preservation process by drawing out excess water from the flesh.
We then take the salmon out. We wash all the salt that's left on the flesh completely away, and then we'd hang it up to dry for a little while before we actually put it in the smoker to smoke.
Oh, OK.
Smoking is an ancient way of conserving food that was vital before the days of refrigeration, and the wood smoke also adds flavour and colour.
And then we just hang them up in here and then let them gently smoke overnight.
Glenn uses oak sawdust for a subtle, mellow flavour.
What we do is we lay down a thin wedge of shavings first, and then we lay a layer of sawdust over the top.
The fish is smoked for between 12 and 24 hours over a gently smouldering fire. Then the hard salt glaze on the exterior is trimmed away and it's sliced, ready for the customer.
And this is the finished result.
That's how it comes out.
So if you'd like to try some.
Yeah, put it there because it looks a bit juicy. Hits the spot, that, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
After savouring some local cuisine, it's high time we got back to the house hunt to find out what we're serving up with our second property. Our next stop takes us out west to the quiet woodlands of Drymere, just a 5-minute drive from the historic market town of Swaffham. Along with a weekly market, it offers a good range of local amenities, including shops and restaurants, housed in fine Georgian buildings. And just a few miles from Swaffham into peaceful countryside, it's time to present our second house, which comes with a ready-made business that should have Belinda smiling like a Cheshire cat. Property number 2.
Great.
We have excelled ourselves, haven't you, just? Because we brought you to a cattery.
Oh, great.
Come on in.
Fantastic.
This is an up-and-running cattery, licensed for 30 cat chalets, so you can have 68 cats. It's
Fabulous.
all built to the highest feline standard.
See that?
Wow, you have surprised me.
Let's go and have a look at the close now to give you the details. So here you go.
Can't see
I've done my cattery homework. So they all have their own little chalets,
Well set out.
and they all have a 2-foot gap in between to
see
spread.
that, yes.
So you've got a block of 21 here, another block of 5 over there, and then
Really?
some extra ones.
It's fabulous.
Oh, look at them. And it's a very successful business. It turns over
clean,
about
isn't
Yeah.
can turn over about 30 grand.
Really? Which is that?
So any thoughts? Any?
I think you're just speechless, aren't you?
I am speechless. Well, again, not expecting that really. I'm expecting just to come to another house, maybe with some land. Not expecting to see an established business like this.
As well as giving Belinda a creme de la creme cattery, we've also got accommodation for Kevin's cars. So not one, but 2 gigantic sheds,
No way.
workshops. Don't look in there. Look in this one, because this one's even better.
Reef.
Same size, but this one has a pit.
Oh, even better.
Oh,
That's
yes.
incredible.
Never see me.
So if you come in a bit, mind the step, you can see at the bottom there's the chassis of an old Beetle, Volkswagen Beetle.
there is, yeah.
So you get an idea of the scale of it. You could easily, well, they have had 6 cars here and then space at the front to work.
Have they really? Well, you can see that, can't you? Yeah.
And this is just one of them,
Yeah.
because next door you've got an equally large.
What did they use the
Space.
next door for? Because see, that's got a carpet on the floor.
They had
next
that as
door.
a home cinema.
Did they? Absolutely, yeah. Speechless like you.
Well, the cat may have got their tongues, but the grounds offer yet more money-earning potential, as there's a licence for 5 caravans to stay on site, and obviously plenty of space for them to camp out in their own caravan. And let's not forget that we do have a house for them to explore. Come on in. It's a very simple layout, because you've got a little sort of sitting room here with a log burner,
Right.
and then through into the kitchen, which goes out into the sunroom conservatory here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty, isn't it?
Yeah. Functional. Yeah. And also interesting, when you come in, there's a sort of separate unit, because by law you have to have a cat kitchen.
Yes.
So you have to have a kitchen where you prepare their food, and that is already there. So you have a separate cat kitchen and a toilet and a little office for your business.
Is there more, or is that the living
No,
space?
no, there's a living room. Let's go through. Yeah, so over this side, there's another good-sized sitting room.
Oh, that's nice. That's cosy.
That's a nice surprise.
So, Belinda, do you think this could be? Can you imagine the 2 of you living here?
Yes, I'm starting to get a feel that we can.
I felt as soon as we walked through the gate that it felt right from the outside.
Yeah.
Upstairs, this house gives them 3 bedrooms. They include a small single, a twin room, and a bright double, all served by the family bathroom. And now we've got the business, hobbies, and their accommodation sorted, our buyers just need to figure out what it's all worth. How much do you think it costs?
You go first.
I'll go first this time then. I would go with the business as well, the cattery business. 425.
I put slightly more. I'd say 440.
440. Well, see, it's very interesting psychologically, because obviously you like this one more than the first one, because you've over-guessed it here, because actually this is on the market for 410.
Okay.
Is it?
So you would have some money to put into the cattery or the house, or to do those few tweaks that you wanted. I can see your eyes, and I can see things working out. So maybe have a look, explore into the second shed, because that's huge, and go and say hello to all the cats, and then I'll see you at the front
Okay.
when you go.
Great, thank you.
Oh, see, that's why I do this show. It's wonderful when you manage to get exactly what people want in one property for the right price. Oh. At £410,000, the second property does a remarkable job of delivering all of Kevin and Belinda's key elements, and, what's more, comes in under budget. Along with a 3-bedroom house for them, There are 2 huge timber outhouses, a mini campsite, and most importantly, an up-and-running cattery business that can house up to 68 cats.
You could find me in here.
I'll lose you in here.
I could put my garage in here 6 times, couldn't I?
You could.
Yeah, easily. Let's get some more cars. Get some more cars. The house didn't jump out at first. We was looking more at the cattery, and that's exactly what Belinda wanted, and me. I mean, you know, it looks superb. The way it's set up, the whole place, where you drive in and the cattery is in front of you, is exactly as we imagined it. Garage space is just more than I ever imagined. It'll give me so much scope to do what I want to do, because I've been so hampered where I live in the moment not to be able to expand into the car business I want to be in.
It's a total surprise. I wasn't expecting to be taken to an established cattery business, so it was a total surprise. I didn't think we could really manage to purchase one with our budget. I think the house is probably a little bit of a compromise area, and there's going to be some area of compromise. I think if we were to go for this, it would probably be got everything. The house is probably just a bit smaller than we thought.
What do you think about the property market in Norfolk? Well, catastrophic. Hi, guys. Hi. Oh. So you're getting on with the locals? Oh, yeah, making friends. Are you still speechless?
Yes. It's fantastic.
It's good, right? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's
Just not expecting to find an established business within our budget, and that has the added bonus of the campsite and the workshop space.
Absolutely. Can I say? Great plot. Lovely place.
It's perfect. Sorry, I have to go. Let's get away from this before I tell you more terrible cat jokes, and we can decompress and think about what you've seen.
Leaving our buyers to reflect on the 2 properties they've seen so far, the first day of our house hunt draws to a close. Kevin and Belinda want to quit their office jobs in Melton Mowbray, Leicestershire, and with their £450,000 budget, move to Norfolk to earn their living from cats and cars. So far, they've seen 2 very different propositions that marry a home for them with business options. But still to come, we turn their wish list on its head as we go on a charm offensive with our mystery property.
I think it's absolutely gorgeous to look at. It's stunning.
And I'll be sailing back through time on the marvellous Norfolk Broads.
I think the English summer may have caught me a little underdressed today. I was hoping for sunshine, but never mind. We've got a mystery house, and I think this mystery house is going to put a cat among the pigeons, as it were. Because I'm not at all convinced that Belinda is really sold on this all business, no house. Or, you know, a house that's not anything more than just functional. Because there are a couple of comments as we were walking around where I think she would quite like a period property or something that's a bit more stylish, a bit more kind of chocolate boxy. So for the mystery house, we have pulled out all the traditional stops. Cattery, we'll have to see if we can squeeze that in somewhere. So day 2, you had time to reflect over the cattery?
I think we're 75% there. It's like I said yesterday, I think it's a strong contender so far.
But I'm wondering if you've saved the best till last.
Intriguing, I think.
Any guesses?
Well, out this way, as soon as you think of maybe a disused windmill or an old boathouse.
Boathouse might not quite work with a cattery and a caravan
maybe
park.
not.
We shall see. Well, we're almost there, so
Excellent.
the wait will be over.
For our last property stop on this tour, we're travelling right down south, near the county border, to the village of Garblesham. The village contains a post office with a convenience store selling a range of groceries, and we're heading there first to find out more about the area from locals Jan and Paulie.
Hello, ladies.
Hello. Hiya.
Hi.
Hiya.
So Kevin and Belinda are hoping to move into the area, maybe, depending on whether they like the next house, because you're running the heart of the village here, aren't you?
Very much so. Helping to.
And is all these produce made by local farms or just local companies?
It's all East Anglian.
All East Anglian.
Yeah. And the meat's local. fresh meat, and then they
Ice
supply
cream?
us with the frozen.
Norfolk
Yes, the
County ice cream?
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah, it's all local.
I noticed, I like baking, I noticed your cakes, are they as well?
They're
Yeah,
very cool.
a lady in the other side of this makes those.
Do you sell cat food?
Yes.
There you go.
And we have a cat.
And you,
Oh yes, definitely.
There's a shop cat that's for
well, I
you.
think you're setting up a cattery, so if you ever need someone to have a holiday. But thanks very much for
do
taking
it.
your time. I know you've got
It's been
customers.
a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Jen.
After our quick pit stop at this cat-friendly local shop, it's Mystery House time.
It's not a windmill.
No, it's not, is it? Thatch.
It's
Beautiful cottage.
Kevin, big sigh there.
I think it's absolutely gorgeous to look at. Stunning.
And you may well have noticed a little something in the back garden,
Did see that.
which we will explore later.
I wanted something with
So
character.
did I. Bags of that, hasn't it?
Wait till you see inside.
I'd say that's the most positive reaction I've seen from them. Our mystery house comes in the form of an 18th century Grade 2 listed farmhouse, which has been renovated to an exceptional standard. We're going in using the side door via a utility and shower room that leads right into the kitchen.
So, into the very country kitchen. So lovely wooden surfaces throughout,
Yes.
bespoke kind of units. And then round there you've got a very lovely sort of dining room area, sort of a little alcove that goes through with double windows.
Okay.
Is it your kind of kitchen, Belinda?
It's lovely.
Surprisingly light, considering it's such an old property.
It is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Leading through into this space, which I think is really charming.
So it's a lovely open area, for entertaining, dining. It's really sociable.
But you do like to entertain. I'm getting the opinion that actually one of the drawbacks to the house yesterday wasn't enough entertaining space.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, indeed.
Would
Yeah.
this do it for you?
I think this will be perfect for that.
Well, actually, there's a bit more. Here we have another room.
Oh, wow.
A very nice formal dining room. And look at this great fireplace.
Yeah.
They've sandblasted the lintel.
Oh, I love that. This would be my dream country house, something like this.
That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
You're looking slightly anxiously at Kevin about whether it's his.
I
kind.
can just see the kittens swinging off the beams. I think they'd love it.
Well, we need to go outside to talk about the cattery, but let's look upstairs, because upstairs is, I warn you now, they've got bendy floors.
Okay.
This charming mystery farmhouse has sent Belinda into a spin. Let's hope the historic bones upstairs seduce her even further.
Very tight, these stairs. Ooh, mind a little bit of practice.
It's a pleasant challenge.
It's like you're going upside in a ship.
Good grief.
Yes. So this is where you notice the age of the property.
Yeah.
Very tight stairs,
Yeah, it's
very slopey floors.
It is very, isn't it?
Grief.
Do you like it, or?
Floorboards.
Initially, I love it. Yeah, it just.
The bedroom reminds me of, going to like a country house hotel.
Yeah. So in here you've essentially got 2 bedrooms, and one of them has an ensuite.
Oh.
So it's a little bit tricky with the bathroom. There is no family bathroom as it stands.
Okay.
So this is the house. You've already sniffed out the secret in the garden, because if you had guests, they wouldn't have to use this shower.
The farmhouse has been presented immaculately throughout, and guests will be equally spoilt in the detached annex, which they could make into a holiday let.
This is a huge asset to this property. It's a beautifully finished holiday let.
Yes.
Got 2 lovely bedrooms upstairs and a bathroom and a lovely space downstairs. And obviously a great location.
Yeah, beautiful.
It's very nice, very nicely done.
Okay.
Very, very nice.
It's a slightly smaller plot. It's 0.83 of an acre. Around here you've got a veggie garden protected by this hedge, which we thought, now I've got the idea of what a cattery is. You could perhaps put a small one there and start to spread it as and when.
Okay.
What do you think this is on the market for?
I don't think we can afford this, but
No. 470.
you stole my thunder there. I go 465.
This is on the market for 449,500.
Is it really?
So you have £500 to play with.
It's the second contender.
Now, I want you to go and look inside this beautiful holiday let, because I think that's going to wow you. Have a look around. Have a look around, see if you can squeeze a cattery in as well.
Okay.
And I'll see you out the front.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Okay. Result. The mystery house stirred up the pot. That's fantastic. Everyone thought it was all plain sailing with the cattery, but no, the thatch has done it. Love that.
Just shy of their £450,000 budget, the mystery property is a beautiful Grade 2 listed thatched farmhouse that comes with a large kitchen breakfast room, 2 separate reception rooms, and a detached 2-bedroom annex which could be turned into a holiday let. The plot extends to around 3/4 of an acre, so with the correct planning consent, there's scope for them to house both cats and cars.
Oh, look at this.
It's a lot bigger in here than it looks outside.
It is, isn't it?
Room here for a kitchen area down here. You could make it into a self-contained place, couldn't you? Plenty of space.
Yeah.
A thatch. That was my first thought. A thatch. It's what was one of the things which we didn't want to have. It was struck me with its stunningly beautiful. You couldn't fault the look of it. It's a chocolate box sort of little house, isn't it? It's beautiful. I know we've always spoke about a character home. You know, that's just full of charm. It's beautiful inside.
Oh, I thought, what a beautiful house. What a beautiful country house. I did see the thatched roof, and I just thought it's a little chocolate box cottage. It's beautiful. And I didn't think I'd, ever be able to aspire to own one. We would. Actually, it would be within our budget again.
I think we've induced a full-scale dilemma of house buyers here. Hello.
Hi.
Your head full of the cottage?
Full of thatches.
Full of thatches. I bet you weren't expecting to say that sentence after this show.
Last thing.
Right, let's go away so you have a bit of perspective and we can think about all the houses. Come with me.
"150 years ago, the broadland waters of Norfolk would have been silhouetted with the sails of numerous vessels known as wherries, carrying cargo from the coast into the port of Norwich. However, the arrival of the railway network from the early 19th century marked the demise of these trading wherries. But enterprising owners converted many of them into pleasure boats to carry the increasing number of holidaymakers. It was, however, the advent of the motorboat that eventually signalled the end of the wherry's illustrious history, and today only 8 survive. So I've come to Wroxham to meet volunteers from the Wherry Yacht Charter Charitable Trust, who are working hard to save and restore the last few remaining examples. Hartor is a pleasure wherry built back in 1905 and now skippered by Peter Bauer.
What a beautiful old boat. So this is the wherry. So what makes a Norfolk wherry a Norfolk wherry?
The distinguishing feature, I suppose, of the Norfolk wherry is the fact that they had a single sail with a mast that's counterbalanced, could come down very easily so that the boats could get through the numerous bridges on the Broads, and they could be easily handled by 2 people, a skipper and a mate.
So Hartor looks like it needs some love and care. So is there any chance of getting white moth on the water?
I suppose there's a chance we might just manage to do that.
While Peter gets White Moth ready to sail, trusty Andrew Scull shows me the boats currently being restored.
So I'm assuming this is one of the ones you're working on.
It is indeed. This one is Olive, and we pulled Olive out onto the slipway here about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and she's just very much at the early stages of her restoration.
Dean Howard is an apprentice volunteer working to get Olive shipshape once again.
So what are you doing here?
We're just taking out the old planking on this hull.
So it's a wooden hull, so this is all... Oh, this is a bit soft. That's going to be repaired, is it?
Yeah, that will be taken out and repaired.
Because presumably modern boat building doesn't involve so much wood.
No, a lot is fiberglass now, so basically plastic hulls. And yeah, this is definitely more traditional, and we're using the same skills as 100 years ago.
Amazing.
At 58 feet in length, with a sleek white hull, White Moth was one of the later wherry yachts built, originally launched in 1915. And now restored to its full sailing glory, it's a wonderful sight to see her back on the Broads, serving to keep this part of East Anglia's cultural heritage alive. And though it's most definitely a pleasure to enjoy a journey along Norfolk's beautiful Broads, we do have the pressing matter of property to get back to on dry land.
Good work on the Broads and very good work from the Wherry Yacht Charter Trust, but I have to hang up my safety jacket and go and find out what Belinda and Kevin are thinking about our houses. It's been fun showing you around, but also it's been interesting to see how your priorities have shifted somewhat. Maybe we could talk about the three houses in order, because it seemed like there was a little story arc that came out in the sense that the first house had a lot of business potential, but maybe not the style you were looking for?
I think it was more the amount of work in order to get it to a position where we could start earning income.
And the time, of course, that would then take really made that just not feasible for us.
The second house gave you a lot on the business front.
Well, it had the cattery. I mean, that was fantastic. An established business there already, up and running. That was fantastic. The scope for car work for you, for classic cars, that was fabulous as well. But as we said, we wanted a house with some character, and that was one of the reasons for moving down here. And we just felt, didn't we, that the house was
just
too modern.
Didn't grip us. It was just a shame because the grounds that it stood in were superb.
And then you saw the mystery house.
When we saw it, well, the thatch first, well, thatch. But I don't know, I think it swung us a bit, didn't it?
It did.
Especially with the holiday let, which was just
The holiday let.
superb.
Absolutely fabulous.
Yeah. And, of course, the land it had with it, which lent itself to a small cattery in the corner, maybe.
I suppose I have to ask, if you had the cash in the bank, and if you'd sold your property, would you buy the mystery house?
Would we get our chequebook out here? And no, we're too sensible for that, I think. I think we'd have to go away for a few days and discuss it. Come back and have another look.
I think for me, the house was always to a degree quite important. And I think when Kev first said that the house isn't important, a little part of me went, maybe it is important. And I think that's now become clear.
Yeah,
But
it
actually,
has
it's
to me,
important to you too now.
Yeah, more so. More so.
So we did our job.
100%.
Yes.
It showed us some things that we didn't like and some things that we did like. So it's been...
So now you have to sell your house.
We do. We've got to now market
buy yourself
it.
a cattery, and I have to buy myself a cat, and I'll come and lodge it with you.
You're welcome to come and visit any time.
I think we can give ourselves a pat on the back for our work here in a not very summery Norfolk this week, because not only did we manage to give Belinda and Kevin their feline fantasy here, but also we managed to shake it all up a bit and get them to ask themselves the question, what is more important for us? House for the cats or house for ourselves? And that's the sort of thing we do very well on Escape to the Country. So make sure you join us next time for more of our sterling work.
Much to our surprise, Kevin and Belinda actually decided they would like to make an offer on property 2, the cattery, once they've sold their house. So fingers crossed that happens quickly. And if you'd like to escape to the country in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.